Good afternoon, students. And this is Lohit Rameske, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Srimati M.C. YR, Government Technical College, Pagoda. So, dear students, in this session, I am going to discuss about the law of return to scale. So, which is connected with the production and operation of goods and services. So in this session, we'll come to know that what is exactly that what is the law of returns to scale. First, we have to know the meaning of that returns and the phases which are involved with the phases. First, we have to know the meaning of law of return to scale. So here, the law of return to scale is a long-run concept and involves the effect of change in inputs. So totally, it's all about the long term. That means in which these law of return to scale are going to happen for any business concern in their production process. So it involves the effects of changes in inputs on the quantity of output produced. So that means these are all in all long run, all factors are variable. So that means whatever the factors they are going to use, the inputs, and they are all variable in production operations or function. So the law of return to scale refers to the effect of change in the input on quantity of output. So whenever they are going to change the inputs, so then it will affect on the total output they are going to get, or on the quantity of output the business organization is going to get. So this is the meaning of law of return to scale. Before going to know the phases of law of return to scale, we have to know the assumptions of law of return to scale. So in assumptions, the first fact is that all factors are variable, but the enterprise is fixed. Means the business can organization will run for indefinite period or for a long time. So, but during that process, the company is going to put all the inputs or factors for the productional activities. They are variable, so that means changeable. So they are subjected to some conditions. So depending on the productivity, depending on the production size and their business operations, the organization is going to change the inputs. So due to this reason, the all factors which are involved in productional process and all the factors are variable. Then there is no change in technology. So suppose if the law of return to scale said to be in operation, means so the organization of our business organization need not to change the technology which is using to produce the goods and services. Then only we can say there is a existence of law of return to scale. Then the perfect competitions prevail in the market. So perfect competition is just like imagination one. So if there is a perfect competition is there in the market, then only we can say law of return to scale can happen. But in perfect competition we can see uh, the same price, same quality, homogeneous products and same quantity of goods which are produced and sold by uh, the business organizations. Then returns are measured in physical terms. So that means the total output they are going to produce and they get after production. So it is measured in terms of physical. So that means the numbers and the quantity and the total size is measured in physical terms. So that means the number of products they produce, the number of materials which are required, and the inputs required. So all these things are expressed in physical terms only. Then, so there are major three types of return to scale. One is increasing return to scale. So that means when there is an increase in input, definitely it increase the total returns to the company. So that means output is going to be increased by increasing the input also. Then constant return to scale. So even though there is a proportionate increase in the input, the return will be a constant, nor decrease nor increase. It will be remain same for a certain period or time. So it's called constant return to scale. Then decreasing return. So here, even though there is a proportionate increase in inputs, the return to scale or the returns or the total output is can we say it's going to be decreased for a while, or it may be go for negative uh, scale also. Let us understand all those these stages with the help of this table. That is, first one is increasing return to scale. Second stage is constant return to scale. Third stage is decreasing return to scale. See here in the first stage, the scale of inputs are 1 labor plus 2 acres of land. So it's about producing of wheat. Then the total returns is 6. Marginal returns, that means no additional returns are there. So it's also 6. Then they employed 2 labors plus 4 acres of land. That means one more labor added, 2 acres of land increased here. The total return is 14. So and the marginal is 8. That means the difference between 14 and 6. So then in the third uh, unit, so they are going to put 3 labors, increase the 3 labors, and the 6 acres of land is allotted. Then the total returns is 24 and the marginal return is 10. That means difference between 24 to 14, sorry, 24 and 14. So here, this is called the increasing return. So here, by increasing the inputs, that means labor and acres of land, the total revenue, sorry, the total return also it's going to be increased. Along with that, additional margin returns also increase because we will come to know the reasons and things in the next slides. Here in second stage, it's a constant stage or constant return stage. So here the scale of inputs also increasing. That means 4 labors, 8 acres of land. So compared to third, then it's a fourth unit. So they are going to be increase in 4 labors and 8 acres of land. The total returns is 32 and marginal return is 12. So the difference between the third unit and fourth unit is that 12. Then they deployed 5 labors and 10 acres of land they used, and the total returns is 42 and marginal returns is 12. So that means the marginal return is not incurred extra. So there is no additional return uh, produced during this stage, but the labor and the acres of land is increased. That is, even though there is a increase in output, sorry, input, but the total returns not increased as much. It get normal return or constant return. There is no additional return. Then the sixth unit, they increase the 6 labors into 6 and given 12 acres of land. So with that, total returns increased to 54, and during that time also the constant return is the marginal return is 12. So that means from 4 to 6, so the marginal return is 0. That means the marginal return becomes same. Then the seventh one, so the seventh labor, that means one more labor added and 14 acres, 2 more acres of land given, 64 total returns, and the marginal return is 10. So the marginal return starts to decrease here or decline here. Then the 8 labor plus 16 acres of land, 72 total returns, and the marginal return is 8. So uh, uh, once again, the marginal return is decreased from 7th to 8th stage, say 8th unit. We can say there is a stage called a decreasing rate of return is in existence. So this is the a small table analysis. So let's go with the all three scales once again. The increasing return to scale. So here the output increases at faster rate than increasing rate in input. So for example, so fall in input are increased by 50% and output increase more than 50%, say 75%. Then the increasing return to scale is said to be in operation. See here, the 1 labor, 2 acres of land, first no increase, same marginal return, then 2 labor, 4 acres of land. So it's at total 14. So that means 6, 14 6 to 14, it is total 8 marginal return. So the 50% of total output is more than 50% of total returns. Then 3 labors, 6 acres of land, 24 is total return. Then marginal return is also additional, that means 10. So we can say that here the more output is more than 50% of input, that means 75% of output they are going to get for a minimum input. And so then only we can say here there is an increasing rate of return. The causes for increasing rate of return is, so the inputs they are going to put it into operations, they may not be fully utilized, they started to work, and they may reach to the ultimate level or optimum level, or maximum level. So that's why the output or the total return it's going to be increased in numbers, even they are going to put a few inputs. The full capability of the inputs are not used here, but they started to increase their capabilities of or utility factors of the inputs. Then constant return to scale. So here in constant return to scale, the proportionate change in all inputs changes the output by the same proportion. That means even though there is a small change in inputs, there is no change in output, but it will remain will be the same. So for example, if the inputs are doubled, return also doubled. When the firm is expanding output, it enjoys economies of large scale of productions. That means when production increases, the cost decreases. So it results in decrease in cost of production. See, only one number of labor added in from fourth unit to fifth unit. Then the acres of land is 8 to 2. That's only 2 acres of land is increased. The total return is 32, and in the fifth unit, the total return is 42, but the marginal return will be same, that is 12. Then fifth to sixth labors, one more labor added. So 4 to 6th unit is 2 labors added. Then 4 to 6th unit is 4 unit, sorry, 4 acres of land added, but the marginal returns is same here, even though they doubled the labor and acres of land here. So here the large scale of operation take place, and the company will enjoy large scale economies of scale operation, but yeah, it will result in decreasing in cost of production. So, but this will disappear as the firm further expands the output. If the firm starts to expand its output size with that minimum or a proportionate or doubled inputs, so it will be disappear. So that means a constant return will starts with decreasing, moves towards decreasing return, decreasing stage. So in this place of economy of large scale operation, so that diseconomies of scale of large operation, scale production will start operating if the company expands the output. The diseconomy of scale of production will start operate. That means the cost is slowly going to increase, and the production is slowly going to decrease. Then the return will increase in the same proportion, so that the constant return to scale start operating. Then the third phase of law of return to scale is, so, before going to third phase, in the second, we have to know that constant return to scale happens only because of there is a ultimate reach, ultimate peak operation, or with full efficiency, the input they are going to be operated, and with that time, the scale of operation not decrease or increase, it will remain same for a while or for a up to a certain time. Then the third phase of law of return to scale is decreasing return to scale. So here, when the small output increases in a smaller proportion, sorry, in a smaller proportion, then the increase in all inputs. So that means, so even though there is a more increase in the inputs, but the total output is going to be increased in a smaller proportion. Let's see in that table. See in the decreasing return, the increase is 7 labor, 14 acres of land. So it is more compared to the previous constant return stage and increasing rates return stage. The total return is 64. The marginal return is getting reduced here. That means from 12 to 10. That means 2 points is reduced. Then 8 labors, the increased labors also on acres of land also. Total return increasing 64 to 72, but only a 10 is marginal. Again, the marginal return is get reduced. So if these kind of situations will be created, we can say there is a scale, decreased scale of return is in operation, and it will result in that the expansion of output results in higher cost, higher factor prices. So whenever the company is going to start put more and more inputs, so the factors prices, the input factor prices is going to be increases from time to time. In order to meet the demand, the company is going to put more and more inputs. So because here the all the inputs which are used in law of return to scale are variable. They are varied in their prices and cost from time to time. So it will result in high risky, means the cost is going to be increased and the production is going to be decreases. So that means the company may not get the required kind of work from the inputs, as well as the efficiency may not be 100% expected. Their efficiency also coming to a negative value, coming to a negative level. Then, so because of expansion of output, the industry demands more skilled laborers, land and labor. So when the industry demands more skilled labor and land and capital, so at that time all these things become expensive. So that means the prices of all this become so high. So as the company may not offer for them with the required price and cost, so the total returns it's going to be decreased marginally. Then as a result, factor prices rises. So the efficiency cannot be maintained in a firm for a long time or for a while. So the total returns is going to be decreased from this stage. So after discussing all these things, we can remind the points of that law of return to scale, that it has three stages, that is increasing return, constant return, decreasing return. So but all these three stages uh, have to uh, have to face the variations take place in the input level. So the input prices are changed, or their cost is changed from time to time. So in all the levels, the inputs prices may not remain same, but the only thing is here the same is technology, and the company may assume there is a perfect competition is there. So but the other remaining things will become variant. So if they become variant, so it will be difficult for the company to maintain a constant return to scale or increasing return to scale. So with this, I would like to conclude my session. Thank you.